Hey, so what is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and today I'm going to be asking who won E3. I'm going to be asking you all who you think won E3 and why they won, but I'm also going to be talking about who I think won E3 and why I think they did. So first off, a little bit of background. What I do every year is I watch at least the conferences from the companies that produce hardware or anything related to that. So I always watch Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft conference, and this year, for the first time, the PC conference, which was sponsored by AMD. Now, normally the other ones, for example, EA, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Bethesda, whatever they are, I normally like to go in and look at the afterthoughts on them. And by that I mean, when they cut down all the clips of, Fallout 4 gameplay, Kingdom Hearts trailer, whatever it is, I go in and look at those things on an individual basis, but I like to judge the main conferences, the big three conferences as a whole. Now it looks like there's going to be the big four from this year on. Anyways, man, I gotta say, with E3 overall, wow. E3 2015, they killed it. This, in recent memory, I'm not saying it's the best one ever, because I haven't been alive long enough to remember all of them, because, E3 has been going on since the mid-90s. I didn't even know that was a thing at all until, after the millennium. But man, this is honestly, in recent memory, the best E3 ever. A lot of people are saying they think this is the best E3 ever. For me, I'm saying in my recent memory, this has been the best E3. We had Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. We had a lot of awesome games shown off more and announced. For example, Fallout 4, huge announcement. The new Doom game. Kingdom Hearts 3, we finally get to see some gameplay of it for the first time in 2 years. The last time we saw anything about Kingdom Hearts 3 was in E3 2013, and that was such a great year too. That was such a great year just because of all the drama that was going on. And my God, that Sony conference, oh my God, it's giving me goosebumps right now, the 2013 Sony conference, just because of all the controversy that was going on. And they announced that their system would not have any DRM. It would have a cheaper price than the Xbox One. They announced some kick-ass games for it. Before they could even finish announcing the system, people were chanting Sony's name. That was an incredible moment for E3. But anyways, this year, we had some amazing conferences. First off, Microsoft and Sony, I can't decide who won, honestly. Both companies gave excellent conferences. Normally, I like Microsoft conferences more, but I think Sony has more. I normally think Sony has the boring conference, but they have better games. And then I think that Microsoft does a really good job hyping you up, but they don't have as many games or as many quality games. And I would say this, Sony did have more games. And in my opinion, I also think they did have better games. They had, I'm going through my pages right here as well. They had The Last Guardian. We finally saw gameplay footage of that. Horizon Zero Dawn. Finally something new from the people that did Killzone. The new Hitman, they showed that off a little bit at the PC conference as well. No Man's Sky, we finally got some gameplay of it. Several other games too. The Final Fantasy, man, that Final Fantasy VII remake? I just want to talk about that for a little bit, okay? A lot of people are saying, I don't like remakes, I don't like remasters, I don't like collections. Final Fantasy VII Remake gets a complete pass. You know why? Because people have been asking for a Final Fantasy VII Remake before remakes and remasters and collections were a thing. People are asking for a remake of this on the PS2, in the PS2 days. The PS3, we got teased with that PS3 tech demo, and people were asking for a remake of it on PS3. And again, another generation comes by, people are still asking for a remake, and especially after that horrible announcement of the Final Fantasy VII, the old one, the 1997 Final Fantasy VII port coming over to PS4, this is amazing. Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then what was the other? Shenmue 3. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, just so much epicness. And I'm not a fan of Call of Duty, you already know that. But big thing for the Call of Duty world, now the special treatment that the Xbox guys got with Call of Duty, that shifted over to Sony. Now Sony is going to be getting more Call of Duty attention, and they're going to be getting all their map packs first. In addition to that, Uncharted 4, Star Wars Battlefront, we got to see all that. And from the Microsoft conference, backwards compatibility. Are you fucking kidding me? Backwards compatibility, that is a huge deal. You know why? Because for so long, even before the PS4 or Xbox One were released, Sony and Microsoft were so upfront about it, and they said, we cannot bring backwards compatibility to our system. We cannot do it. It doesn't work on our architecture. It doesn't work. They told you time and time again it didn't work. Sony brought back bootleg backwards compatibility, and by that I mean you can do it through PlayStation Now, where it's all streamed through the internet. So yes, you can play old games on your PS4, but you can also play those games on your TV without a PlayStation system if it's a Sony compatible TV. So, that's what I'm trying to say here. It's not true backwards compatibility. Now, yes, this is not native backwards compatibility, what Microsoft showed off, but this is not, it's going to be free for people. From what I understand, you don't even need Xbox Live Gold for this. It's going to be free. It's literally, you put the disc in or you download it from Xbox Live, and the game is going to work depending on if it's enabled or not. Microsoft killed it with this. And yes, I know, it is emulated, but here's the point. The Xbox One has Xbox 360 emulation now. PlayStation 4 doesn't have PlayStation 1, 2, or 3, or Vita, or PSP emulation of any kind. Now, let's see if we can get original Xbox emulation on the Xbox One. That would be a treat. But they had that. We got to see some more stuff from Halo 5. We got to see a new game from Kenji Ifune and the Metroid Prime team. We got to see ReCore. We got to see, a new controller, which that controller looks pretty dope. Now, people are yelling about the $150 price point. You know what? Still a much better deal than a SCUF controller. And I'm probably honestly going to pick that up. It does look like a great controller. I'm not a pro gamer by any means. I'm not a go hard by any means, but that controller does look awesome. I do want to play it. And of course, Rare is coming back. I'm so happy they didn't forget about the roots. 30 games for $30 in the Rare replay value. I'm telling you all, as I said, I paid $50 for the Conker's Bad Fur Day cartridge. Now I can pay $1 for it, and for $29 more, I'm going to get 29 more games. And it's old stuff from Battletoads all the way to new stuff like Perfect Dark Zero, and Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. So you're going to have stuff from the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, N64, Xbox 360. That really impressed me. Now that really impressed me. We got to see HoloLens, the whole VR type thing. That's all going to look great. Gears 4 and Gears Ultimate Edition. Now then with PC, they kind of sweep the floor of that as well. It was the longest conference. It wasn't covered the best because they weren't clear about the times or the coverage or anything like that. But man, they killed it. Games were amazing. The host, amazing. I don't know how you could not like the guy that was hosting it. And it went on for 2.5 hours, which was kind of annoying, honestly. But man, they had Killing Floor. They showed new games. Obviously they showed new games, but they showed brand new hardware. Star Citizen, they talked a little bit more about that. Phil Spencer from the Xbox division came out. He was welcomed. He talked about Killer Instinct now coming over to PC. He talked about how Windows 10 is going to make everything just so much better. They're really aiming it towards everyone. Gears of War Ultimate Edition is coming to PC. It's so awesome to see the head of Xbox embracing PC so heavily like that, and not just streaming to PC. I'm talking about actually playing on PC. We got to see Cliffy B make a comeback, so many other good games, so many other expansions, all that other stuff. They killed it. And then Nintendo. Man, something happened which I never thought would have happened. I didn't think Nintendo's conference was the best. I said it was an okay conference, it honestly wasn't really that good. It was okay to mediocre. But I went light on the Nintendo conference. This is what I'm saying when I say that something happened that I never would have thought happened. I've seen plenty of hardcore Nintendo fanboys cover, their reactions, their thoughts over the E3 conference for Nintendo. And even the hardcore Nintendo fanboys are saying, this conference was shit. This conference was horrible. This was not a good conference. Nintendo, what are you doing? And I'm like, damn. I was neutral on all the parties, and I said it was an okay conference. You all are like the hardcore fanboys, the people that would actually defend Nintendo to the death, and you all are saying the conference sucked. Man, you know what? I guess it was a pretty bad conference then. And honestly, Star Fox Zero definitely looked cool. But there weren't really that many games that impressed me. Like, most of the games did not impress me. People are so mad about that Metroid Prime Federation Force game that's coming out because it's not the true Metroid Prime game. They didn't show enough of the games, some of the games I wanted to see. I wanted to see more of FE or Fee. Fire Emblem Fates looked cool. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I wanted to see more of that. Yoshi's Woolly World, it definitely looks like a unique game. I can see why people wouldn't like it, but I want to play it. It looks fun. And then they talked quite a bit about Super Mario Maker. I found this to be fascinating, but I'm sure a lot of people aren't really big fans of it. I don't know if I'm going to play it, honestly. I don't know, but this E3 conference for Nintendo, weak, honestly. It was not good. They've had much better press conferences before. Nintendo just needs to get back into the live TV ring, and I already talked about it at the end there, but I think the reason why they are not doing live shows anymore is because they don't want to have any more mishaps or embarrassing moments or anything anymore, like, my body is ready. They don't want that, following them as much, even though they kind of embrace it. Miyamoto, as you all know, he needs a translator on stage because he can speak, minimal, okay English, but most of the time they do need someone to dub over him or talk over him. And that could be, that could be a big language barrier, kind of an embarrassing thing. Of course, like anybody who's tried to speak another language would know. And then, as I said, all the embarrassing things such as Wii Music and just several other things. So I really think they just need to do live conferences again. They need to get over that. They need to do their live conferences. But who won? As I said, even out of the other conferences, we got to see some great new games. We finally got to see Mirror's Edge, revealed for the actual name, and I'm forgetting it right now, but that looked great as well. The Fallout 4 footage was awesome. Kingdom Hearts 3, I was so excited about that. So many other games got announced at other conferences, but who won? Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony? None of them. If PC did not happen, I would have said that Sony and Microsoft are tied. But when I got even 30 minutes into that PC conference, I was like, that's it. PC killed the other conferences. And that's not saying that the other conferences weren't good. Sony and Microsoft did fantastic jobs with their conferences, game-wise, presentation-wise, feature-wise. Nintendo, your conference was not good. You had a bad conference and you should feel bad. PC, though, man, I'm not even an AMD fan, and I was wanting to get those AMD graphics cards. That's how crazy it was. The presentation was awesome. You could tell everyone was so emotionally, enticed with the conference, and they were happy to be there, and they were truly, genuinely excited to show off their games. And major respect to all the indie developers that they allowed on there. When the indie devs went on to the PlayStation, the Sony and Microsoft conferences, they just got to show off their games, talk about their games a tiny bit. PC, they gave them the floor. They even gave them a comfortable couch to sit on. Man, AMD, PC Gamer, they did a fantastic job. That's who I think won the conference, hands down. If you give me a split second to think about it, it was PC. And I cannot wait for more PC stuff to happen. Now, of course, some things did not happen on my wish list. I made a E3 2015 wish list. There were things I thought put on there that I thought would not happen at all, and they did, such as Rare making a comeback of some kind. They announced a new game, and they announced a collection. Sega, they didn't come back. I mean, sure, they came back with, in the PC conference, they showed, the new Total War Warhammer game. That was pretty cool, but I was thinking of something, more classic, anything like that, like a good Sonic the Hedgehog game. That'd be pretty cool, but they're just going to screw up with that. And then other things as well. Shenmue 3, I threw on that list thinking nothing would happen. Shenmue 3 got announced. They crashed Kickstarter. I did not get my apology from 343 Industries. I said I wanted an official apology from Bonnie Ross from 343 Industries apologizing for the horrible state that Master Chief Collection came in. We didn't get that. I wanted Valve to show up. They mentioned Half-Life 3. I wanted a Half-Life 3 reveal. I thought that would have been cool. I didn't even know they were going to do a PC thing, honestly. I really wasn't sure about it. They mentioned Half-Life 3, but Valve was not there. But, it would have been cool if Valve was there. It would have been awesome if they got to show off the Source 2 engine. And we didn't get a Gears of War collection. Yes, there's Gears of War Ultimate Edition and Gears 4. You all already know, I'm probably going to play Gears 4 because I've played Gears 1 through 3. I didn't like the first Gears. It's pretty much to me, it looks like Gears of War PC, except it's going to be more refined for DirectX 10, have more modern support. I wasn't a fan of the first Gears of War. I honestly wasn't, so I can't get excited for Ultimate Edition. And for the 10th anniversary of Gears of War, I think it would have been kick-ass if they released Gears 2 and 3 along with it. But from what they were hinting at the PC press conference, it does sound like they do plan to bring Gears of War, like more Gears of War games, over to PC. So, there were some things that we got on my wish list, some things we didn't get, some things I did not think would happen at all and we got, and some things I really wanted to happen but didn't happen. But that's how it is. In life, we can't have everything. But now I'm going to ask you at the end of this. First off, thank you all for listening. And second, who do you think won E3 and why? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm excited to hear. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. And don't worry, there's going to be no more E3 spam until 2016 on this channel. And I'll give you all a little hint. The next video is going to be Mod Chat. Be prepared.